Today we're going to rank all the WWE main roster championships from least important to most important. We're going to start off with Andrade. You're like, wait a second, Andrade's a champion? Don't feel bad for not knowing this because yes, Andrade is actually a champion. He is the speed champion on Twitter. WWE has these speed matches that are 3 minutes or less, and tons of people watch them, and yet tons of people don't even know that Andrade is the champion. And I don't blame you, because here we have a champion. He doesn't wear his championship title to SmackDown. It's as if he or WWE does not want to acknowledge that he is champion, and that to me shows that the speed title is irrelevant and means almost next to nothing. Speaking of meaningless, the tag team division. Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they have the titles. They've defended it once. It's just pretty pathetic. It feels like the titles are in Judgment Day, so Judgment Day can say they have some gold. And let's be honest, Judgment Day has been getting their butts handed to them by two people. Judgment Day is a 5-person group. Your tag team champions and two people, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, have been beating them up almost every single week. So the tag team championships are looking very, very weak on Raw. Then we're going to go to SmackDown because the next weakest title are the SmackDown WWE Tag Team Championships. The Bloodline holding the titles seem appropriate. The Usos, they held the title forever, and those titles were meaningful at the time, but right now, barely anything. Again, it seems like the titles just go into factions and then they get lost. It's to kind of make the factions look more powerful than they really are, and not to mention that only Tama Tonga in these tag team champions actually won the match. Tonga Loa was given the title by Jacob Fatu. On one hand, Tonga Loa, we acknowledge him as so great that he just stands there and wins a championship. But on the other hand, in all seriousness, that devalues the titles because, hey, you know what? Jacob Fatu, he just gives the title away, and why is he allowed to just give the title away? That's how unimportant these titles are, that you can just literally just give them away to whoever you want. You can just deem, I think you're worthy, have the title. And that makes those titles look super weak. There does seem to be kind of some feuds right under the surface with DIY and the Street Profits, and just announced they're gonna have a triple threat ladder match next week on SmackDown. That match alone will probably elevate them one spot higher next week, but we're doing the video right now and I can only judge what has happened and not what will happen. So as it stands, they need some feuds. I hope this is just the beginning. And the women's tag team titles aren't that much more important. Those belts are at least being defended. They had a little bit of a hot potato with like the Unholy Alliance, but again, those titles were still being defended. Not much storylines, but more exposure and more defenses than the men's title on either brand. And the next title holder could be you with this championship right here. I'll rank you above the tag team division if you comment below. Help me get to 10,000 subscribers. Help me get to being a full-time YouTuber and doing YouTube videos and streams all day long. I promise you I'll always give away a belt on this channel. All you gotta do is comment below. I'll pick a random subscriber. You'll pick the belt of your choosing, and I'll do it for free. I'll ship it to you, everything on me as a thank you for helping me get the engagement I need to go full time. Next championship is Jey Uso, Mr. Yeet himself. Honestly, there's an argument that he should be on the bottom of the list because literally he just won and he has had no defenses whatsoever. The reason why I am putting him so high on the list is because how much the Intercontinental title seems to mean right now, and a lot of people are just vying for it. There's a lot of story behind it. This was Jey Uso's 7th time trying for a singles title, won it in the main event. Announcers, they made it feel like such a special moment that I'm actually keeping the Intercontinental title so high because of the storylines leading into it. Now, Braun Breaker, if he still had it, would probably be a little higher up the list, but it's Jey Uso, and he's so low only because he hasn't defended it yet. Next, we have Liv Morgan and the Women's World title. I am ranking this as low as it is because it's almost like a secondary thought in the rivalry between Rhea and Liv Morgan. A good championship rivalry should have both competitors hating each other, but also prizing the belt. It seems like Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, they only hate each other, and the belt is just an afterthought. They want to get the belt to hurt the other person, but they don't want to get the belt just to be champion. The Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley storyline is great for a blood feud, but not so much for elevating the championship. So now we go to SmackDown, and a controversial pick is Nia Jax being higher than Liv Morgan, because I know there are still a lot of Nia Jax haters, and a lot of people are remembering Nia Jax from 2 or 3 years ago and not giving the new Nia Jax the credit she deserves for putting in the work and being the great heel that she is. And I feel that her character is actually valuing the title very, very much so. She's only had one defense against Meacham, but it was a powerful defense because it was like a street fight, it main evented, a SmackDown. It's just prominent in the stories. Nia Jax not backing down from people. She always has the belt, and you can tell that she wants to keep it. And she feels like a champion, and she's not ducking anybody. She's calling out people in the ring. She's going right to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill saying, hey, I beat you guys. She's talking smack to everybody. She is on her way to being a very dominant champion. So if you notice, I did not put NXT on here. I know a lot of people watch NXT, but I also know that a lot of people don't watch NXT, and that's perfectly okay. You are still deemed a WWE fan, and I know personally, a lot of times I miss NXT because of my work schedule, but if I had to pick the top 3, we'll just sidebar into a top 3. I would say the third most important is the actual heavyweight championship. Ethan Page, he won the championship in a fatal 4-way, not even pinning the champion, Trick Williams, and he was kind of passed out when he did it even. Someone like hit him on top of another person. So that kind of makes his win start off on a weak position. Roxanne Perez, she seems to be a very dominant champion. She's beating challenger after challenger after challenger. She talks to smack, but she backs it up. And they had to bring in some talent from a whole nother organization just to beat her because she has beaten everybody else. That shows me that she is super strong, and the #1 title on NXT, I feel, is Oma Femi. He just broke the record for the North American title, which is pretty much their secondary title, their US title, Intercontinental Belt title. And if you watch Oma Femi for any amount of time, you will realize that this guy is the real deal. Nobody's taking that title off him. I wouldn't be surprised if he just hands the title over and says, I'm going to the main roster. This dude, no one's taking the championship off him. He is so dominant on NXT, but let's get back to WWE. I had a hard time picking between the next 2 people. I really considered putting Cody Rhodes in the #3 spot, but that is going to go to Gunther. Now, hang on a second. The only reason why it's going to Gunther is because of a couple things, and we're going to have to take kayfabe into consideration. And what kayfabe means, if you're new to wrestling, is that basically we're taking storyline reasons into consideration. Gunther just won the title, and he's only defended it once. Now, he did defend it against Randy Orton, which is a huge feather in his cap, but ever since then, he has been ducking Sami Zayn, and that is questionable because it's like, why are you ducking Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn is definitely not as big of a threat than Randy Orton was. Randy Orton, Gunther said, yeah, I need to beat you because I kind of have a tainted win over you. But Sami Zayn, on the other hand, has an actual win over Gunther, and Gunther keeps ducking him. He keeps saying, no, no, no. So in essence, Gunther is ducking Sami Zayn only because he's trying to get under his skin as punishment for actually beating him at WrestleMania 40, and I love that. I love Troll Gunther, but it does mean he's putting his feelings above the championship, which then devalues him as a champion. And Cody Rhodes is the second place with the WWE Undisputed title, and Cody Rhodes, he's had the challengers. He's fought Carmelo Hayes, AJ Styles again, Logan Paul, Solo Sikoa twice, and Kevin Owens. He's not ducking anybody. However, the thing that holds Cody Rhodes back is actually the storylines. He hasn't had good storylines with his competitors, and I've been very critical of the Cody Rhodes title defenses because of that reason, and I do believe that those reasons has weakened his title run. Now, if you ask me again after Bad Blood or Crown Jewel, it might totally change, and Cody Rhodes might be the strongest champion because Roman Reigns is back in the mix, and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes both value the title very much, and they hate each other, and that will make for a very awesome storyline revolving around the title and personal feelings, which will just elevate everybody, including the championship run. So the #1 champion right now in WWE, I feel, is LA Knight. Yeah, LA Knight has only had the title since SummerSlam, just like Gunther and Nia Jax, but he has defended it multiple times since SummerSlam. Ludwig Kaiser, Carmelo Hayes, Santo Escobar, and when he enters into the arena, the atmosphere changes. He walks out proudly as a champion. LA Knight feels like a champion. He feels like a big deal. I feel that the way that he is carrying the belt and how he's having his matches and not backing down from everyone and just saying, come on, let's go. Everybody come at me. I will beat you. Yeah. And the reactions that he's getting, he seems to be the top champion right now. But if he doesn't get storylines real soon, Cody will definitely beat him next time I do this. And most likely Gunther will as well. And maybe even Jey Uso. LA Knight needs to get a really good feud really quick, but he did just get kind of inserted in the Andrade Carmelo Hayes feud, which is now looking to be like a triple threat, so I'm really happy there. But what are we going to do after this as well? Because that feud has centered around matches. We need to start seeing feuds that are centered around hatred. Makes sense? But as of right now, LA Knight is still my pick, but I do understand all those who would put Cody above LA Knight, but this is a personal opinion, and you are entitled to your personal opinion as well, and I welcome it. This is not an echo chamber channel. You've heard my thoughts, and now I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment below. Please tell me, what are your list of champions? If you want, just put your top 3. That way you don't have to do every single one, because I'm pretty sure no one's going to really be ranking the tag team division pretty high. So just let me know your top 5, top 3 in the comments below. Get a chance to win a belt, and guys, girls, you have a great day.